He's
He,
on.
yeah, he's just muted. It's fine. Yeah. So basically, what we're doing is what I would like to continue to do is try to do these meetings for any questions people will have to ask, um, trying to help people out through the process of getting their work out there, getting their material out there that God's placed in their heart. And I've been through the process of publishing a book, having a book published, publishing a book. So to help others to do it and see which west is the best way for them, uh, is what we should be trying to do. Um, at least that's what I want to do. I published my book, and when I published it, it cost me $800. My first book. So my first book was $800. Most that take 6 weeks. It took 6 months. Um, that was with editing. That was with it's supposed to been a pre, how they do a pre uh what they call that, where they tell people about you and get you out there and let them know when you're going to be publishing your book. Uh,
Marketing.
marketing, yeah. So I didn't get that. I got a cardboard piece with a piece of paper stuck onto it that had my book on it. Uh, so I got all that for $800, and then me and my wife still had to edit the book ourselves and re-upload it. Um, but with my situation, it was a lady who I met through a friend, and we got it we got it to where she did the editing. Well, I was seeing her do the editing. We did it all through Dropbox. So her way of doing it was basically you had your account. It was the money would go to your bank account. When she was done, she was done. And that was it. When she did all the work, she got her $800. She didn't get nothing else. Now, there are publishings out there who will publish a book and they get so much of what you're doing. So you have to publish, get them to publish, get them to edit, get them to do the book cover, all of that. It depends on the company that you got, and you got to rely on them to send you a royalty check. My brother did this book. I don't know how well y'all can see that. It's called As I Sit and Think. And he got it published through a publishing called Ex Libris. And basically, when I tell him about how my experience is, he said, well, my publishing company did this and they sent me royalty. Well, they ain't told me nothing about that. And they ain't told me nothing about this. And they ain't. And as you can see, it's thin book. There's a lot of errors in there from a publishing company. So through my process, I went to a friend of mine and he told me how to do it. He told me how to send my book out to friends who likes to read. And so I sent out about 5 friends. My book that I published, I sent out about 5 friends and they edited it for me and sent it back to me. So basically what I did was I went back over it myself, still found errors, because what you'll find is you'll always find errors, and even though you have different people go through it, your book's still going to have a few errors, but what it does is narrows it down. So I narrowed it down, we did it ourselves. I learned how to publish because the publishing lady had gave me all access to everything. I had my own password and everything else, and I was using Kindle, KDP. So I used that, and I uploaded my own manuscript. Now with the own manuscript, I also had to do my own book cover. So doing my own book cover, I had to learn to do that. But I already did my own book cover when I sent it to the publisher. She just modified it and did it the way, then asked me what I thought about it. She just asked to add a little bit to it. So how much it cost me to publish my own book? Free. How much it cost me to pay somebody else? $800. And that's without books.
And that's the minimum price.
Yeah, that is,
That 800.
yeah, the $800 a minimum price, for is what I got out of it. Like she would have did it for like 400, 600 to 800, but she would have did it less, less, and less that's on the list. So what I got from it was basically what she did less. and and it took her longer. Matter of fact, she was publishing somebody else's and advertising somebody else's, and I had to max pay at the same time she's supposed to have been doing mine. So it depends on who you're depending on. So if you're depending on yourself, if you're depending on your friends, if you're depending on those people who you believe are reliable, then that is a better way to go. Um, Ira Milligan has books out there, but he has to buy so many. And he went through I think it was like the Dove Publishing Company. So he had to purchase about 1,000 books himself from them. And then he sells them when somebody orders from his website, he sells them. But he has to keep some on him or they sell through that. Now he has the #1 dream book in the nation. But after talking to him, he said it's better when you have somebody else do it. That way you're not obligated to these other companies to do the things that they want you to do. You're not obligated to a timeline. You're not obligated to publish an extra book. You're not obligated to that. And you have full and total control over your own book when you self-publish. So to me, self-publishing is a better way. And it's a better way if you make sure that you keep it edited correctly, because that's the biggest thing. Like if somebody have a Dove book or something like that, and it's not edited correctly, they don't care. It's a Dove book. It's because of the name. But as a self-publisher, you want to make sure that things are good. Everything looked great from the beginning. Will you reach everybody? No. Not everybody will get into your book, but the right people will get it. I sold, I would say roughly about 300 or more books is what I've sold off my first book. And I probably got like 7 reviews off of it because most of it was family. Went to a family reunion, sold all my books. Went to another reunion, was selling, I was selling my books. But at the same time, they don't leave reviews, So, when you look at it, if you want to get reviews, you find people who want to read it, tell them, hey, could you leave me a review? Could you do this? And they'll do it.
Pastor Robert, explain why the reviews are so important now that you've gone through it.
Yeah. Well, the reviews are important because, first of all, when you read, people don't read the introduction no more. They look at the reviews. Almost every product that you see on Amazon, you see on eBay, it's a product, but they want to see what other people think of it, or else they're not going to buy it. If you got if you decide to buy some razors, first thing you're going to do is, because it's not in hand, you can't hand check it. You're going to look at what somebody else thought about it. So it's the same thing with a book. With a book, people are going to look and say, okay, what was this book saying through another person's eyes? And you're going to have some people say, well, this wasn't good. This wasn't great. But a book is not even about the good and bad reviews. It's how many reviews. They look, oh, how many reviews is that? Oh, that's 1,000 reviews. I want that book. I want to see why people are so interested in it. Whether it's good or bad, they already know that everybody's not going to have the same perceptive of the book, but why did they buy it? Why so many reviews on it? Why so many people read it? Let me look at this. And it's like some people say, well, that was an awful movie. Then some people go, I got to go check that movie out. They said it was awful. Just because somebody spoke about it. They just want to go see it. Man, what they talk about in that movie, because somebody was mentioning it. And that's what it comes down to, like a book. So it's good to have the reviews out there. It's good to see who will leave you a review. Because I'll tell people, man, leave me a review. You do anything else, just leave me a review, And still people, I'm going to leave you a review. They don't leave me no review.
And you gave some strategies of how to get people to do reviews. I think one you
Yeah.
said that you will do a book swap for a review or something along those lines.
Well,
Was that one that you did
yeah.
mention?
Now you can do a book swap. Um, and the thing is, if you got your book on Amazon and they got their book on Amazon, only one person can leave the review. Like if they leave you a review, you can't leave them a review because they think that you're just giving them, a review because both of y'all got your account on Amazon. So they be like, no, you can't leave a review for that one. But there is another Goodreads is connected to Amazon. So you can go to Goodreads, and because Amazon, once you upload your book to Amazon, it goes to Goodreads automatically. So you can leave a review on Goodreads. So one can leave a review on Amazon, but both of y'all can leave a review on Goodreads. And people go to Goodreads just to get books to read, just to get books to download. But you don't have to upload your book to Goodreads; it automatically goes there. Like I didn't upload my book to Goodreads or Books a Million. I mean, a Barnes and Noble. But I uploaded my book to Amazon, and my book is on Barnes and Noble, and it's on Goodreads. So because it's all connected. You upload to one place, and it goes to the others. Now they don't have the hard copy. The good thing is that when you upload your book, you don't have to buy books unless you desire to, in case you want to have some on hand. And then people say, well, I want a signature. I want to do what's they call it, a book signing. So you want to do a book signing. A lot of people say a book signing is a good way to get people to come and to sign. You sign the books and get your name out there and get the book out there. The thing is, you have to know the time and the place where you can go where you got book readers. Um, I did a book signing. It was interesting, but the lady booked me for the morning, and then she said, "Oh, we usually have customers in the evening." Well, I can't. You got customers in the evening, but you booked me in the morning when nobody's in here. So there was nobody coming in. So there was no traffic for me to do a book signing because all the book readers come in the evening time. But she booked me for the morning. She was like, I should have booked you for the morning. Well, it's a little late. And she allowed me to, it's a Christian bookstore. She allowed me to do it. I sent her the book. She read it. She loved it. She said, yep, I have to watch what I bring into my bookstore now, which I like. She just booked me at the wrong time. And so there are different ways to get your book out there. And the first thing you have to do is write. You have to write it. You have to get it out there. You have to get it published. Like I said, if we're working together, and then if you don't know how to publish, you got issues with showing how to publish it, I can walk you through that process. It's very easy. Only thing you just got to make sure you got your lines right, your book size that you want. Put all your dimensions in there, upload it, and then Amazon does most of the rest. It tells you when there's an error, you go back and fix it. You bring it back, you go back and fix it, and you upload your book cover, and you can get somebody easy to make a book cover. I done made so many. I done made a lot. I think I made more book covers than I have written my stories out so far. But the thing is if you want to get that out there, you have to let people know this is what I'm doing ahead of time. This is what I'm doing ahead of time. Look, I'm writing this book. I'm getting this out ahead of time. Letting you know what it's about. I told people I was writing a book about how to be a Christian on a job, and it was like, we need that. We need that. And I'm still working on it, but they're expecting it. One lady's still expecting my series 3 of Doors of the Church Open. Each time I go out to the job, she's wondering, where's it at? There are things when you got an informational book. I think we talked about that. When you got an informational book, you want your informational book to be short. not long like a fictional book, because you want them to be able to take the information, meditate on the information, and then if you need to come out with a book too, let it come out with a book too. I would keep an informational book. I would say probably about 100 to 150 pages, or 150 pages or less. About 150 pages or less, for as an informational book goes. The reason why is because people need to read it over and meditate, do research. They're gonna research you on it, because it's a book of information that they need to meditate on, get into their system. Actually, there is renewing their minds, and so what you're talking on is a new concept or something new to them that they have to learn. That's the reason we study the Bible all the time. You know, we read the Bible over and over and over and over and over again. And every time there's a new revelation, there's a new understanding, there's something new. And when it's the word of God that you're putting out there, because it's informational, it's just like the word. There's new revelation in it. No matter how many times you read it, it's going to be new revelation. Well, then you do a book two for them to get more information in it. And because you got it, you can start it over and start off book two. Um, and then you'll find that you got more revelation than you thought, you know. And as you put it out there, God will add more to it. Now, fictional book, like I said, mine is, I got one that's 200 some pages. I got another one that's 300 and some pages. They're fictional. I got a practical guide to marriage. It is 67 pages long. It's informational. So it's 67 pages long. I did my own book cover. So made my own back cover. I got my ISN from my ISBN. I got it off Amazon. When I uploaded my book cover, when I first did it, it said, "This is it." I got it. I put it in there, and I upload the file, and it's mine.
Explain right quick what that ISN number is as far that you're referencing that Amazon gives you.
Yeah, it basically, it's assigned to your book, and when you scan it, you know, it's got a barcode on there. So that ISBN number is your barcode number to show that that's assigned to it. Nobody else has it. So when they scan it, it brings up it brings up your price number, it tells you the information about the book. So it's just like going through a store, they scan it and it brings up the information about that book. Well, it's assigned to that book. Nobody, like, when you leave, if you decide to take your book off Amazon, you take it off Amazon, and you can take it someplace else, and it's the same ISBN number, but it's free. Some people be like, "Do you pay for it?" No, it's free on Amazon. Some places make you pay for it. So I hadn't had to pay for it. Like I say, everything I've done so far has been free. So.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'm ready. I have everything ready. My book would definitely be an information book. 75,000 words approximately.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to be more than 150 pages.
Yeah.
That.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gone through that process of word per page. You know, I'm roughly thinking about a 6x9 type of book size.
Mm.
And I think you were telling us before that the ideal print size that you have locked in on, I think it's 13 size print.
Yeah.
And so I don't see how I could really break this up into two books. At least go out as one.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I have everything ready. I have to do no, I even have my daughter has done the cover.
Yeah.
And I said, let me just kind of wait till we talk today before I go forward. I went in on that, I guess, and kind of looked at that process of self-publishing. And they had an option also with another company that would do some of the work.
Yeah. Now, to me, an informational book should be short. but there are informational books that's out there that are bigger. You know what I'm saying? Now there are some thick informational books out there, and the reason why I say that is when I pay for my books that I publish self publishing, the less pages I have, the cheaper it is also.
Okay.
Because it's cheaper for them to print it, and the weight of it is cheaper for them to ship it. So it doesn't cost that much for me to get as many as I want printed. The good thing about Amazon is you don't have to get any printed except for what you desire, and then whoever wants to buy it can go there and they print it for them. So you're like, I have no books on me right now except for what I got, my copies. That's it. I have no other books on me. Somebody asked me, where can I get your book? Amazon. Books, Barnes and Noble. You go buy it, and then they'll print it, they'll ship it to you. So, so I don't have to worry about shipping it, because if you ship it to you, when you get it shipped to you, Amazon charges you shipping. Then when you ship it to somebody else, you're paying another shipping to ship it to somebody else. So unless you charge them for the shipping, so by the time you got it, like my book cost me like $3.49, and if I buy one book, it's three something to ship it to me, for them to print it, ship it to me. I got it, and then I have to ship it to somebody else, even though they're paying $15, or because my book is $15. This book right here is $15. It's 300 some pages. You see how thick it is?
Mm-hmm.
So it'll cost me, the medium mail is probably about $3. And it'll cost me the $3 plus the $3 I sent. So that's $9 that I did it in to ship it to somebody, to let them pay me $15. So it's better for me to say, okay, where you got it at, I'm gonna ship it to you from Amazon. I'll ship it that way, or they can just go to Amazon and just get it. Now if they're with me, around me, now I got books. If I had books around me, I can do that for people who's next to me. But for shipping it out, that's a whole different thing. Depends on how you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that self-publishing with Amazon seems to be my best to fit my particular situation, because you've been addressing a lot about the side of marketing, and that's for my purpose in this book. I'm not concerned about marketing. It's really just a book that the Lord has helped me to write, to develop the curriculum here for the institute, and so that's really my sole purpose. So I'm not overly concerned about the marketing aspect of it.
Yeah.
I like the idea that I can have full control. I can make corrections, and all of that is really good for my situation. So, and as I said, I'm ready to go. I guess I just need to go through the process of the finding out. I just want to get into the formatting.
Yeah.
Everything right now is just on my Word it's a Word document.
Yeah.
So to reformat for a 6x9 book and all of that, we have to go through that process, and I guess that's going to be what we're dealing with when we start out.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. Is you want to make sure that it's set right. The margins are set right. Once you get the margins set, I was gonna, let me see. Let me do this. But yeah, once you get the margin set right and everything else, it should be good. For us, like I think mine is 5x9, 6. They call it 6, but actually it's like a 5. But once you get the dimension set right, you get your book cover ready and all of that, then everything will be fine. You just have to make sure When you upload it, your book cover's ready and all that is ready when you get to go. I got mine in like two different formats. I got it in Word and I also got it in PDF. So
Okay, well, I have both formats for mine also.
yeah.
Uh, let's see. Well,
I guess because, Dad, is your book considered informational?
yeah, it's definitely information.
So would it be better to have, I guess since it's a much larger book than what you're recommending for informational books, I guess with less pages and having cheaper shipping costs,
Hmm.
would you recommend that it's only available digitally? Or you still
Um,
would give the consumer the option? I guess it's
I would
always good to
still,
have both options.
yeah, I would still give the consumer the option. Um, the reason why is because some people like it in the hard copy
Hmm.
and they don't like the digital. And there's some people love digital. I would keep it available both ways and let them decide on the shipping. The thing is when it's a bigger book, you can only like say you got your book and you say, well, I feel like I want to just do this for $10. Because it's a bigger book, Amazon might not let you drop it to $10 because of the printing costs.
Hmm.
Mm,
So you have to keep it at a higher price because they're looking at the cost for them to print it and ship it. Like
Hmm.
my first book is 200 some pages. Well, I could drop that one to $10. But my other book that's 300 some pages, I can only drop it to like 13. It won't let me go lower. So, but I can still get it printed, but I have to get, when I get because you got an author's copy that you can buy yourself. So when you go on Amazon, you go to your author's page because they'll give you an author's page where you can upload as many books, the books that you want, and you can click on it and say author's price. Well, it'll tell you how much it would cost you to get it shipped to you, but it's still going to charge you the pounds of how much it weighs for as the shipping goes. So you know, and like I said, some people like begin like a Smith Wigglesworth's got a book this thick, and people read it because it's Smith Wigglesworth, and they'll read it and they'll go through it, and I'll be like, "How you read that big old book?" And they say, "Oh, well, I got to go back and read it again," but they never do because it's too big to go back and read. You know, so reading it one time for them was great. That was all they needed.
And
Um,
I guess the good thing is with Amazon, when you're searching for the book, it gives you the option. So you're going to see your price,
yeah,
digital price versus a printout shipping price.
yes, yeah,
Okay. And then they can decide from there.
yeah, yeah. Because you'll still have Kindle. When you do Amazon, you got Kindle, so you can also do Kindle, which is easy. You got Kindle and that, so they can choose whether they want to buy a Kindle price or that price. Now, Kindle price, you can go as low as you want to. You can give it away for free on Kindle.
Okay.
Yeah, Kindle, you because they'll ask you, do you want to do a promotion? And sometimes people do a promotion because when they get Kindle, just to have them buy it is to show your sales, and people like this many people bought this book, and they'll go through Kindle, and they got one that's called KDP. So when they read on Kindle how many pages they read of your book, you get paid by that. So you can also see how many pages people are reading of your book,
Mm.
because it'll tell you how many pages they read into it. If they thought, and that, as long as they're reading it and each page, you get paid by each page. So it's called a KDP Select that you get to choose. So most Kindle readers who are subscribed get to read your book for free, but they're actually paying because of their subscription, you know. So you get paid through their subscription if they read your book per page.
Okay.
Yeah.
uh, I guess we had one thing I guess me and my daughter briefly talked about, but we still have to work through it. In the back, we have a print exactly charts that I think people would probably want to print out a copy. Uh, and each chart on the Word document is a full page.
Mm-hmm.
So when you shrink it down to say a 6 by 9, I'm concerned that writing may be too small. So we're trying to look through that. What would be the ideal book size, the print size for those charts that would be
Mm-hmm.
legendary, I guess. But
Yeah.
uh, so that's one thing that's one gray area that I have interest in.
Yeah.
Everything else is pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Yeah. See, it's like all the books behind you. They're different sizes, so you have to look at what size do you want to use. Uh, and that's the biggest thing is I chose mine because I knew mine wasn't going to be too big, and I just wanted to be a smaller one inside a shelf. So I chose a smaller, like 6 by 9 book. Um, it seemed like it was easier deal. Um, so when the lady did it, I was like, cool, that'll work. Well, when I did my smaller book, it was smaller than the rest of them, wherever it went. It was just a little smaller. I still used the same font size, but I just had less information to put in it.
Now, what size is the one in the left hand?
This
The
one,
one,
this one is a 6 by 9.
okay.
Yeah, but see how thick it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it still went thick, but I don't know if you can see. But see, mine is more gap because I used a spacing.
Yeah.
My spacing was like I had my spacing like a 1.5. Like yours might be a 1. Like the spacing made mine more thicker.
Now, what we
You
kind of
know,
use other spacing.
I did a spacing so because I just figure I don't like it when the words you go from one sentence to the other and you read back on the same sentence because the spacing is too close. But that's how I read. Some people might read it fine, but I'll read, Jack ran over the corner and then he stumbled. Then I'll go to the next line and still reading Jack ran over the corner. And I'm like, oh, that's the same line. So my eyes don't drop too quick. So I want to keep a spacing in there. So you knew that you was going to the same line. That was just my preference.
Is there like an average recommended spacing?
No, that was just my preference. So yeah, some people use like a regular like one point or something like that just to make sure the lines they just want to get more in the page. Me, I just did it because I wanted the reader to have more space. I wanted to make it clear that they didn't have to run over the lines, and that was just my thought on it. You know, um, every book and every person writes it. They do it differently for as spacing goes. But like I said, most of them have publishers that have a signature. You can tell that they're going to come out with that print. That's basically what they're going to come out with. Let me see.
Yeah, I guess I would probably try 1.0 to lessen
Okay.
just to see what that looks like. I guess
Yeah.
just kind of just work our way through.
I can tell you what mine is off 300 pages. I got 368 pages in this book. 368 pages is 4,000. Let me look again. 43,162 words.
Yeah.
This book has 43,162 words in it.
And that spacing, that's 1.5 spacing?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Well, it's 43,000. It's 43,000 words in this one. And this is 300 some pages.
Okay, yeah, I'm in trouble. Like I said, I'm about 75,000 words. So,
Yeah.
um,
So, so now you can make your book bigger, wider, taller, uh, and it'll be still because you can still make a taller book. Now, hold on a second. see, everybody got different types of sizes. And this is my book. These other two are information. So,
Yeah.
you know, but if
Well, I'm assuming that once you get into that program and start doing it, you can play with the different sizes and
yes, yes,
all to kind of see where you want to end up with it. But, so I guess that's what I need to do, just go ahead and start that,
yeah, yeah,
that process with it.
yeah. And then you got your book cover, and if you need help with the book cover, fine. With I don't mind helping with a book cover. If you don't have anybody.
Well, no, I have an expert.
As far as the starting point,
Mhm.
what is it, a certain link? What would you look for when you go into Amazon? I guess as far as like the starting point to setting up, just to get started.
Let me see. How did I do it? Matter of fact, she had set me up, but you can go to Amazon, and
Mm-hmm.
basically uh it should be a place in there where you can know how you buy and sell, usual like buy and sell. It's the same thing as selling a book.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you-
So I see it says, I just Googled Amazon
yeah,
book publishing, and you just go to self-publishing.
yes, yes.
I did that, but it basically just gives you the information. It doesn't get you to a point, say, click here, let's
It,
get started.
it said to get started.
Yeah.
It says get started. Tell us more about your book.
Yeah. Yeah, it probably is that. Let me check it out. Because let me see what I'm on. I was on KDP Select. Go to KDP Select.
Are you saying P is in Paul or B is
Yeah.
in boy?
Yeah. KDP Paul
Okay.
Select. And when you go, that's Kindle Direct Publishing. It's kdp.amazon.com.
kdp.amazon.com.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, see, now I went there this past week, and it gives you, the information of doing it. But I just kept looking for the point, I'm saying, okay, I'm ready. Oh, this is good. But I just kept looking for the point that says, okay, so let's get started. I never saw that.
Yeah. Let me see. So you'll see there I just sent in the chat. Y'all see that link?
Let's see.
No.
It's in the chat.
I got it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because I comment, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we click on this link, and that will eventually get us started with the downloading and the fastening.
Yeah. I mean, this is
And
see I'm
why
signed in.
enroll to KDP Select?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see the four topics, the four categories across the top, and either one the informational type of
You sign in, like I sign out, and this is where I'm usually at. You see my page? See, this is where I'm usually at. But what I do is when I sign in, I just sign in with my Amazon account,
Mm-hmm.
and it's direct publishing. And so I can sign in with my regular Amazon account. It used the same email address and everything because it's Amazon.
Okay.
And so right here, it's like create a new title, paperback, Kindle book. So if you have an Amazon account, you can sign into it if, with that and create an account for it. Like all my books are here.
And you basically create an account for your book.
Yeah. Yeah. It's my same thing. It's just like I'm going to sell something. This is just a sale page. So everything that I want to do, if I want to edit my book, edit book details, edit book content, edit price, KDP select info, if I want to promote, all of that is here.
Okay.
So this is my link. If I want to share it with somebody to get there, that's my link to it. This is Kindle, which I had to upload papers to Kindle, and I had to upload also the paperback. So when I did this one was already here. So every time I add or want to create another one, I would just come up here. See, this one say create a title. It doesn't matter which one you do first, because when you do it, you're going to have to do it separate anyway.
Okay.
You're going to have you do your paperback, meaning this is what you're going to have the customers when you do your paperback, you price it, you got the ISBN. Now your Kindle ebook does not need an ISBN. Yeah, your Kindle book, even though you get an ISBN, your Kindle book still won't show it because it's on Kindle. It's a different deal.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but your paperback has one for the purpose of sale and everything else. So if I click on this and say I want to create another one, see, and it takes me through the process now. So I put my book title here, subtitle. Then if I got it in a series, say I did book 1, book 2, book 3, I would say just add my first series, add the series details, and I do that. It's optional. You don't have to.
Okay.
Edition number, optional. So is this the first edition or is this second edition? Are you redoing this, or do you want us to call it a second edition? Usually when I'm editing my book, I just take the contents out and put new content in it. So I don't do a second edition. I just do that. But some people go through the process saying, okay, we're just going to do a second edition. I edit it, I add some more information or whatever. If I'm editing my book, I don't do a second. If I'm adding more information, that's a whole new edition. It's different from the first one. So then you got your author's name, the author's name, primary author, the person who wrote it, all of that. Anybody who contributed, this is optional. So if you want to, add somebody in, these are contributors who helped write the book or who helped did whatever, you can add that in there. You don't have to. Then you write what your book is about. You put your description here. You got 4,000 characters. Whatever you want to write in there, you put it there. So they'll know. Then you say if you own the copyright to the stuff that's in the book. So you say this is a public domain work, select that option, or you can say I own all the copy. I written this is my original work. Your keywords are basically here to say, when people search Amazon, say they put in Jesus. Is that one of your keywords? So when they do that, they find your book in the search.
Gotcha.
If you put book, you put author, you put writer, you put your name. If they're looking for your name, it's going to be in the keyword. So you got 7 keywords you can put in there for us to have somebody find your book on Amazon. Then you got your categories. And then you have to select was it adult content or not, you know. So you do that. When you save it, it'll go here to paperback content. This is the inside of it. It's basically your book cover. It's basically your do you want it to be shiny and smooth, or do you want it to be not shiny, not glossy? You can upload your content in there and then start taking you through the process. Your book cover is not the right size. It's not in the dimensions. We have to do this. It's outside the lines. I went through that so many times. I was like, man, let me save my dimensions in my. So I started saving my dimensions because I knew the size of my book that I was going to have. So it'll tell you when it's wrong. You just go back and you just adjust your dimensions. You know. So when you upload it, it's got a place in there that corrects it, and you go through and you look at and exactly how they talking about it's going to come out. That's exactly how it's going to come out. So if your chapter is down here on a page and it should be up here, you need to go back and put a page break. But it takes you through there, and then the last step is a paperback rights and pricing. So then you can price it. Now you'll get your ISBN number when you go to the paperback content. Then you go back into your book and you put the ISBN number inside of your book. Let me show you if I can. I don't know. Let me see. I'm going to do a stop share. Then I'm going to do a share screen again because I want to pull up this. See. I did this, and sometimes in my book, I had this here, and it came too far over here, and it says you might want to move that over because it'll cut it off. So if there's any pictures or anything in your book, it'll say it'll cut it off. So you want to make sure that it's got enough room to print to where they don't cut anything off that you don't want cut off. So you got to have your dimensions and everything. Let me see. My layout, my margins. Let's see. I'll make custom margins wherever it's at. Oh, there it is. Mine is at 1. The bottom is at 1, but my outside is at 0.75. And what they'll do, that'll make your words come in a little closer, but to keep it from getting cut off. Any words getting cut off when they print, because they're going to slice their book and they want to make sure that everything's good and center. So what I did was I came down. Let me see. I put this copyright 2019 in there. I didn't file it with anybody. I just put copyright 2019. That just shows that, hey, this is copyright written by me. I know, but it helps me in the court. It takes me a longer process to prove it than me just going off and paying a lot of money to get it filed to say this is mine. But at least it's in here and it shows that it's copyrighted. So I put the year I copyrighted, the year I published it, copyright 2019. I got my ISBN number after I went through that process, and I came back and I put it on my work before I uploaded. So this is my ISBN number. So I still got it on my work, on my laptop. And I got my information here. I did not put a phone number in there for anybody to contact me because I didn't want no calls. But I do have email address. I do have like a website in there, everything else. So I got my content here and everything else is just here, you know? And like I said, this one here I did 14. The rest of my books I did 13. Because I did 14 on this one, if I would have did 13, I would have had less pages. But instead,
say that again.
If I would have did my font at 13, I would have had less pages.
Gotcha.
I still would have had the same amount of words, but I would have had less pages. So if you did your font at 12, if you did your font at 12, you'll have less pages, even though you got a lot more words. You know, yeah, because it shrinks it. The bigger your font, the more pages you use.
Let me get back to the copyright again. Informational book where you are using commentaries and outside information. Does that affect whether you can have a copyright when you use outside information like that? Or?
Talking about like if you got outside information.
Yeah, you know, like you quote some commentaries, Bible dictionaries.
Yeah, there are some things that are copyrighted that you have to be careful on. Like just a mention in it is fine. Say I like one of my books, like in this book, I did I mentioned a song, but I didn't copyright the song. I mentioned a group, but I didn't take the book and I didn't use the song and put the whole song into it. I just mentioned it. So that's not copyright. But if I take the whole song and put it in there, if I take parts of that song and put it in there, and then like a paragraph of it, and then I have to get permission.
Okay, well,
you know.
Yeah. Well, what about commentaries?
What was that?
What about commentaries when you're quoting commentaries, a Bible dictionary?
Mostly I use scriptures in it all the time, but I hadn't did anything for as copyright. Scriptures I just put in there.
No, I mean like a commentary on the scripture. You know, like Clark's commentary, Matthew Henry's commentary. You know, when you quote something from their commentaries. You know, now in the bibliography, yeah, I mean I give the location, the commentary, and all of that there.
Yeah.
But how does that? I guess legally, what do I run into by doing this? I guess I'm.
Yeah. Some things, and it's like I said, some things is you have to look at what can you use. Most of the time when I'm thinking about something like commentaries and things like that, I look it up to see if it's copyright. I have to Google it. So I Google to see if it's possible to use what I can use, what I can't use. Like Bible scriptures, I use them in my book, but I don't put back and say this is by, King James that did this, because it's in so many Bibles who actually did it. But the commentaries is a totally different thing. So you want to make sure you can use those commentaries in there because it's actually their quotes of what they're saying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's actually their thought. So in that, you want to see how much you can use, and is it possible to use it, if any. So yeah, that right there, I would be careful on, like basically search it out first. Cause that's what I do, is basically like when I was looking up a song, I use Houdini in my book, One Love, I used to, they talked about it, but I didn't use any copyright on it, material from it. And so I want to make sure. So I looked it up to make sure I wasn't copywriting anything. Sometimes people say, you probably can reverse to say, this is what such and such said. So now you're not taking the quote, you're not taking credit for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I believe that since you're not taking credit for it, it's not like a copyright, but you want to make sure, because things are so particular nowadays that everybody wants to get in on, oh, you mentioned this, so I should have got paid for it. So in those areas, I walk in every area of using something that somebody else said or done, even if it's just a little bit. I want to make sure. So I Google and make sure that I'm legal when I do it. You know what I'm saying? So if I don't know, I'm Googling it. If I don't know, I'm gonna research it first and see if it's possible to use. Because there's so many areas in that you want to make sure that even in that is possible. I've seen books where they did copyright that they will give credit to people who wrote the Bible. Depends on what Bible it came out of.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
But they'll put it in the book and say reference such and such, or reference right at the beginning of the book. Book references, quote references. They'll put it in a book at the beginning of the book and say what they reference in some areas,
Mm-hmm.
just to cover themselves. You know, they probably didn't call them up and say, "Hey, I need to know whatever." They just did a reference part inside their book of what they referenced from to say, "This is where I got it from. It wasn't original thought."
Well, yeah, I use a lot of that in the book, a lot of references and quotes from different people. Things of that
Yeah.
nature. But like I said, legally, I haven't gone through that process. Of,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
You just want to make sure that, because I think what copyright really comes into it is say you quoted something and you took the credit for it.
oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you quote something and you take the credit without giving the credit, that's where I believe that's where the copyright come in at. But you just want to make sure. I still walk on that line of checking everything before I put it in my book, you know, to make sure I'm legal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, like my friends say, here's going to be a bestseller. Cool. So if yours going to be a bestseller, you want to make sure ain't nothing in that copyright. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Let me see. Author Central. I want to take y'all here. Now, this is the other one that comes with it. This is Amazon Author Central. This is basically the author's page. You can upload pictures and everything else. This is also connected to Amazon. It has your books. What it also has is your current sale ranking. You can see it.
I'm not getting
Huh? If you can see, it shows, you know, you can add more books. This here is where you have a book on Amazon and they'll
Your
tell you
book
go.
is still open.
Yeah.
We still see your
Oh,
copyright
the
page.
contents and
You
copyright.
gotta switch screen.
let me see. I thought I switched screens. Let me do this. Stop share. Share screen. Okay, there. Gotcha.
There it is.
Okay.
So let me see. This is my author's page. And this is Amazon. This is called Author Central. This is more informational, but everything I do here is still, you can still go to Amazon. So Amazon, it's right here. So that's my author's page on Amazon. So it got my reviews. It tells you how many reviews this one here got. Different things like that. And your book sales, as you can see, it shows you how many books you sold, which one sold. You take it off total sales. When they sold. The thing is with Amazon, because Amazon is like it is, some books don't even get reported. They don't. I've seen some people, my books didn't get reported. And like, yeah. And then Amazon is like, the reason why is because sometimes we sell through a third party. Even though they buy it off Amazon, there's a third party thing that they do the printing through. So you don't get the credit for the sale. Now you'll get the money for the sale, but you won't get the credit for as the sale goes. which is weird. So, but this is the author's page, and you get that. You don't basically. You have to go through here. Are you missing any books? So if you look on here and your book's not in there, you just go here and add more books, and you search your book. So I can use my title, my author, or ISBN, and I add it in here so I can look at my book sales. But you can also look at your book sales through the other way, through KDP. So either way, you can look at your book sales through KDP or this. It's the same thing. One just comes a little earlier than the other one. This one gives you more detail. So yeah. And like I said, you can go back to the bookshelf, reports. This is the reports on here. So I had one book sold October 28th. It was an ebook. So when I do that, I scroll down here, shows you my royalties from Amazon. Your book actually goes over all of Amazon. So all these places that you check, from the UK to Japan to all of that. So, and you can keep up with your royalties and keep up with everything. Now, when they send out your royalties every month to whatever bank account you got it hooked to. So you hook your royalty, you hook it up to whatever bank account you got it hooked to, and go from there. So they pay you by so much a percentage of how you getting it printed out. So this one here, Amazon is $3.99, it's $7.99. But if I decide to order author's copies, if I say one, Amazon.com, that one is $2.15 for me. So even though it costs $3, for me it's $2.15. Order one, when I ship it, if I submit an order, I'll get it. I pay the author's price, and it comes to me. Or I can send somebody else an author's copy and just add their address and ship it to them, just like a gift. So depends on what you want to do, how you want to get it to the customer. The customer can go basically, or a friend, you can send. I sent it to a couple of friends. I was like, hey, y'all want to get my book? Yeah. So I get it. I get their address. I come in here and I'll ship them an author's copy, and they'll get it. You can also order unpublished print book, which is a sample book, which costs just about as much as an author's copy. But what you do is you order one, and you get it, and you review the book to see if that's how you want it printed before you publish it. So before you publish it, you come here, you do it, you look over your book. Once you get it, you say, this is the type of book I want print and sent to everybody, and you review it, and then you publish it. So you can also unlink your books. It means when you want to stop selling it, you stop selling it. You know, you can take it all off. Same thing with your ebooks. You can unpublish it, and you can unpublish it. You can undo it. You can edit. You can do whatever. So it is. This is your full control. This is basically however you want to do it. Sometimes I shut it off. Sometimes I do a promotion. Now, if you upload your content, the people will still get the old content until your new content goes live. So say you want to correct it. Okay, I correct it. Well, it takes about 2 days before they actually correct it to approve it. And then but they still, if anybody goes and order it, they still get the old, the what you had before. So it doesn't stop your book from being sold. So it still goes. So if I go to Goodreads, I don't even know how I sign into this thing. I'll continue with Facebook or something. I don't know. If I go to Goodreads, I can find my book on Goodreads. And people reviewed, you know, whatever it was. So here's my book on Goodreads. And like I said, you still get the reviews. I didn't put it on Goodreads, but because they're partnered with Amazon, it's on Goodreads automatically. So, yeah. Yeah. But it gives you a lot, like I said, if you want the full control of it, you got it. You got your password, you got all of that. You can upload your content, you can stop your content. If you don't like what you got, you can upload more books if you desire. But you can take your time with it. Like you can upload your book, you can upload your what you call, and you still don't have to publish it until a certain time. It's not a rush to publish. I can shut all my books off now. They'll still be up there, but I don't have to have them published. But they'll be up there whenever I want to go live with them again. So if I want to say, well, I'm just not going to sell my books, I can just go click a button and they'll stop being published. So did that KDP Amazon.com help?
It did.
Okay.
Yeah, I took notes and now have the links.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems fairly user friendly.
Oh yeah, yeah. It is. It's it the. I think the worst part I had was when I uploaded my content and trying to get it to fit in the margins. So,
Got it. Yeah, it seemed that I saw your example, and I could see that being a little tedious.
yeah, yeah. So it's basically trying, when you upload it though, it won't. You can publish it bad, is what they say, but they put the margins in there so they'll tell you what your errors are. So it actually tells you the errors. So when you click on it, it say you got this error 153. We corrected these, but you check it out. So you can go through your pages and check out each chapter, each verse, everything that you see to make sure that's the book. But then you look at the margins, you want to make sure that like the back of it, like the back of mine right here. I can't. Well, there's an overlay right here. If you see, if right here coming off the back, overlay, right? That's about right there off my back of my book cover. You know, but it's barely seen. But I see it once I see it, I'll be like, man, that just went over. That wasn't supposed to be like that. But it doesn't mess my book up, but I can still see the overlay there. So because it got outside the margin because it was 300 something pages compared to my regular margin. But, you know, but when those margins are there, sometimes you just be like, I'm tired. Like I stayed up. And I stayed up late trying to fix that margin. And then the next day I was still trying to fix that margin. I was like, what dimensions? Then I said, oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. And I finally got it thinking I had it, but when I printed out, I had that little overlay. So, but it's not a bad because I still got my front cover to what people sees. And basically you can do your whole back cover. If you got this front cover good, you can do this whole back cover and this in one color and save on trying to get that margin so tight.
That's what I was thinking. Just do one color for the back and front.
Yeah. You can do one color and it'd be fine. You know, like this one is one color. You know, it just went straight in there. And this was the first one I did. And I did this just to practice. It's just I did this one as a practice book because I'd never done a book cover. So when I did it, this is actually part of Amazon's deal.
Okay.
I had a back picture here. I had a pen and everything. but I couldn't get it. So I was like, I got frustrated, and I just said, give me one of y'all. So they got their own book cover thing that you can
Select from.
yeah, you can use theirs if you want without making your own. But when
Okay.
I found out how to do it, I just started doing my own. So these two here, I did my own, you know. So I figured out how to do it. This one was a lot better. You know, I used
Okay.
one picture. And this was my mother-in-law took this picture. Except for the
Okay.
people. I added the people. My mother-in-law took the background picture on that.
Okay.
So I just used that as a background. Um, when you look at it, most pictures that you'll see, you probably can go on Google and find pictures, and people use those pictures all the time. And they use them as book covers. They just what they do is they just tweak the picture and add their own. So yeah. Yep. So
This was very informative.
yeah.
Got out a lot out of it.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. I'm ready to go ahead and do this now.
Okay. And like I said, we talked to Pastor Leonard before. Whatever we do, if you need help, just ask. Like I said, I've done book covers, I've done the publishing, I've done the editing. I've learned about marketing. I'm still ain't good at marketing, but I'm gonna find somebody who is. But but the thing is, when you have the skill to do something, it's good to help each other out. And, you know, the payment is the giving and helping. That's it. That's what I love about it. So I want everybody to be information. Other questions, you know, we're gonna do this again next month. But any other questions or anything else, y'all know anybody want to come in, try to find out, invite them. You know,
I appreciate this.
Yeah.
But we're gonna, with my daughter, we're gonna get together and try to
Okay.
do this. And if you have any something like roadblocks, I just
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah. And I'll, you know, they'll tell you the dimensions when you go on there of your book cover. The picture of your book cover has to be a certain DPI. So they need the depth ratio to be, I think it's like either 300, 3,000, they said. So
300.
yeah. So what I did was I could never get mine. So I downloaded a picture that was 300 DPI. And I copied it. I brung it up in Paint, and I brung my book cover up in Paint, and I pasted it in that Paint. And then I saved it, my book cover, and I cut my book cover out of that Paint. Well, my cover became 300 DPI. You know, so that's how I made my book cover 300 DPI when it was like 50 something. So you know, you pull up a picture, you download a picture that's 300 DPI, you open it up in Paint, you copy your book cover over to that Paint, and then you save it, and then you cut it out, you crop it out of that Paint cover, out of that Paint picture. Then you got your book cover at 300 DPI that can be uploaded. You know, other than that, it won't take it. Yeah. Well,
I appreciate this, man. This is very helpful.
no problem.
Thank you for the information.
Well, y'all welcome. Y'all welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get ready for this next one, and I will save that one too in case any other questions come up opposite this one. I'm gonna save it, and I'm gonna post it on my Facebook. Leonard will have access to it, so he can share it and everything else. So we'll do that.
Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Y'all have a blessed one.
You too, man.
Same
All right,
to you.
everyone.
Be blessed.
All right.
All right.